The launch of the PlayStation 5 is right around the corner, and we are desperate to know more about it. While Sony has confirmed painfully few details about the system, there are plenty of substantial rumors surrounding the console, like the PlayStation 5's touchpad actually having a purpose, and how big a hole the hardware will burn into your wallet. Thankfully, TheGamer is here to catch you up on all the latest leaks surrounding the future of gaming on the PlayStation. Today, we're going to cover the most substantial and corroborated rumors about the PlayStation 5 and get you pumped for the next level of gaming. Phone integration in the controller. So, you know how the PlayStation 4 had a lot of half-baked social features? And you know how the PS4's controller's touchpad didn't really do anything in the vast majority of games. Well, it looks like Sony is set to remedy both of these issues in the PlayStation 5's controller. Rumor has it that the PlayStation 5 controller will replace the often ignored touchpad with a touch screen that links to social features. Trying to squat up with your buddies while getting some warm-up matches in? Text them through the controller. Want to tell the world that you just smoked a boss in Dark Souls without taking any damage? Post a screenshot to Twitter right from your controller. This feature is really enticing and will give a lot of games some quality of life improvements. People spend more time looking at their phones while gaming than they'd really care to admit. So instead of reaching for your phone when your buddies are running late or you hit an unskippable cutscene that you've seen a million times, you can just look at your controller. Now, the interface will have to be pretty slick to compete with your phone of choice, but this rumor is still pretty exciting. Gaming is a social activity now, and gaming systems should reflect that. It will be portable. Gamers are also a lot more active today than they have been in years past, and they have to fit their hobby around their commutes and travel. Can you imagine what it would be like if you could play next-gen quality games while riding on a train or a plane? That'd be incredible, and it's why a lot of people think that the PlayStation 5 will have some level of portability. Sure, Sony's last venture into portable gaming, the PS Vita, was an objective failure. And yes, the Nintendo Switch is far and away the best portable gaming system ever created. However, there's more than enough room in the market for two portable systems, and Sony definitely wants a piece of that pie. We know for sure that one version of the PS5 will be a traditional home gaming system. Rumor has it though that a more affordable and portable version of the PS5 is also going to be launching around the 2020 holiday season. This could be Sony's chance to learn from their mistakes and offer a competitive, portable gaming experience. And at the very least, it'll be hard for them to screw up worse than they did with the Vita. We can always use more of the weirder titles and the niche JRPGs that Sony portable systems were best and really only known for. Backwards compatibility. While the portability of the PS5 is still pretty up in the air, we know for a fact that the system will have backwards compatibility. Famously, Sony showed off a behind-closed-doors tech demo of the PS4 Spider-Man running on the PlayStation 5. We know for sure that most, if not all, PS4 games will run on the system. But what if Sony goes even further back? There's a chance that the PS5 will play games from the PS3, 2, and even the original system. On top of offering gamers an easy way to play classic PlayStation games, this feature could also make the PS5 a more competitive device in the console market. Right now, the Xbox One can play around 600 titles from the 360 and the original Xbox. Not only that, the games are even optimized to run better on the advanced hardware. While a similar feature isn't confirmed for the Xbox Series X just yet, it's a safe bet that some kind of backwards compatibility will be on the competing system. Backwards compatibility is one of the few areas where the Sony consoles just outright lose to the Microsoft systems. To fix this, the PS5 is likely to have some of the most robust gaming preservation features we've ever seen in the industry. Copilot mode. Another rumored feature, this time confirmed through Japanese patent filings, is something like the Xbox's Copilot mode. The Xbox One allows players to entirely remap their controller, and even spread it across multiple devices. This makes games far more accessible and gives gamers far more freedom over how they play their games. The PS4 doesn't have anything close to the Xbox One's customization features, so it would make sense to add those options to the PlayStation 5. The console wars will be as competitive as ever in 2020, and Sony wants to do everything that they can to pull ahead, even if it means playing catch-up with features pioneered by Microsoft. Even outside of accessibility, Copilot mode will let players get more out of their games. Depending upon the title, spreading button inputs across two controllers will essentially turn a single-player game into a two-player experience. For instance, in a rail shooter, let's say, one player could control an airship while another handles firing the weaponry. This could be a great new way to get younger gamers interested in new titles and make it more approachable for them. As the 2020 holiday season draws ever closer, we should hopefully learn more about this consumer-friendly feature soon. No load times. This PlayStation 5 will supposedly have virtually no load times, and this would be due to the PS5's use of a solid-state drive, allowing it to more quickly render a game's assets. This has been one of the PlayStation 5's biggest selling points, and Sony has been quick to brag about the feature. However, it does sound a little too good to be true, and that's why it's in this rumor video. Sony demonstrated their no load time claim by playing the aforementioned PS4 Spider-Man on the PlayStation 5. While those who saw the video did report that load times were essentially non-existent, that was for a game not spec'd for the PlayStation 5. It'd be weird if the PlayStation 5 didn't easily run a PS4 game, so the lack of load times here doesn't really mean all that much. It's easy to imagine the system struggling to quickly load games that really push the console's boundaries, which is exactly what happens at the end of every console's lifespan. So while this feature definitely is happening, only time will tell if it actually lives up to Sony's promise. After all, tech companies are known to exaggerate, especially when it comes to their upcoming hardware. Fingers crossed though. Full cross-play. In another instance of Sony finally implementing features other systems added ages ago, the PS5 will likely have full cross-play functionality. While the other major gaming platforms like Nintendo Switch, the PC, and Xbox have been okay with crossplay for a while now, PlayStation is still dragging its heels. Sony only allows crossplay for gargantuan titles, something like Fortnite or Rocket League, but that's about it. Sony's reluctance to allow crossplay on their system is well documented and thoroughly criticized. Ever since Fortnite accidentally enabled the feature, or so Epic says, players have demanded that it become the norm. It's such a desired feature today that Sony risks losing a good chunk of its audience if the PS5 doesn't have widespread crossplay functionality. While it's understandable that Sony wants everyone playing online games to do so on a PlayStation, that's just not how gaming works nowadays. Gamers are going to go with the console that gives them the most freedom and lets them play games with as many people as possible. This may be a hard trend for Sony to kick, but it makes sense in today's landscape for them to take the short-term L and enable crossplay. If they don't, then this might be a lonely couple of years for PlayStation diehards. Save power and the planet. Those players will at least help save the planet though, as the PlayStation 5 is set to be one of the most environmentally friendly consoles ever. The system will reportedly only use 0.5 watts to maintain sleep mode, while the PlayStation 4 needed about 10 watts to maintain that state. Even if this wouldn't directly improve someone's gaming experience, it would save them a bit of money and do some social good. People don't really talk about the environmental impact of gaming as a hobby. On top of the materials that go into gaming systems, a lot of energy goes towards meeting worldwide gaming demands. Considering that most of this electricity comes from exhaustible resources, it's good of Sony to try to save energy with their next system. Hopefully, we'll learn more about other socially responsible aspects of the PS5's production as it nears launch. It would be great if the resources in the machine were ethically mined, and if it was assembled in a factory, that factory pay workers a fair wage. Sadly though, these features are less likely than the PS5's reduced power consumption. Still though, every little bit helps, and we have to give Sony credit for this step forward in making gaming a more sustainable hobby. Some kind of subscription service. While environmentally conscious production is hopefully in gaming's future, subscription services definitely are. Microsoft's Game Pass is a huge value proposition to Xbox, PC, and even Nintendo Switch gamers. It gives them access to hundreds of games for a relatively small amount of money, and has become increasingly popular over this generation. Sony is definitely going to step it up next generation and try to get a piece of that pie. While Sony's gaming subscription service would look similar to Game Pass, there are plenty of ways that it could surpass the existing service. For instance, Sony's service could offer PlayStation exclusive titles. It could also be better at curating games and ensuring that gamers wouldn't lose their favorite titles once they leave the service. Also, Sony could come up with a better name than Game Pass, which isn't very good, but does fit with Microsoft's long history of poorly named gaming systems and paraphernalia. While there are a lot of problems backed into an idea of gaming subscription service, it's definitely a trend on the rise. Sony is sure to throw their hat in the ring soon, and the launch of the PlayStation 5 is the perfect time to do it. And if they do it well, we're sure to see even better deals crop up before too long. A VR venture. Currently, Sony is the only console manufacturer that's seriously investing in VR tech. And no, the Nintendo Labo doesn't count. That's why it's a safe bet to think that the PlayStation 5 will double down on the company's VR venture. VR is a niche part of a hobby that's just beginning to appeal to a mainstream audience. It's also fairly expensive to get into, and it isn't compatible with everyone's living situation or lifestyle. In spite of this though, it's become one of the fastest growing aspects of gaming, and Sony is leading that charge. While other side projects like the dreaded Vita have fallen by the wayside, Sony has stuck with its VR tech, best known as Project Morpheus. The headset is still in circulation and updated, meaning that a PS5 release could boost VR games for the headset as well. Maybe Sony VR games could be more responsive, have better graphics, or even just not give half of everyone who plays them motion sickness. VR may not be for everyone, but it does seem like an ongoing trend that's pushing the industry forward. As both massive trend chasers and industry pioneers, Sony is sure to invest in VR as the next generation of gaming draws near. It'll cost $500. The last major rumor surrounding the PlayStation 5 is how much it's going to cost. While there is plenty of speculation, the prevailing rumor is that the system is going to cost about $500, which might seem a little steep, but it is also smack dab in the middle of Sony's previous pricing models. The PlayStation 3 launched at a price point of $600 in 2006, and that nearly drove the company into the ground. This was an obscene amount of money for a console in 2006. It's even high for today's standards. The PS4, on the other hand, launched at a cost of $400 and is one of the most successful systems in gaming. The PlayStation 5 costing $500 just feels like what a next-generation piece of hardware should cost. That's also a lot less money than what $600 was in 2006, and way more affordable than most high-end gaming PCs. At the end of the day, that's what most console gamers are looking for: quality and low-maintenance gaming experience at a reasonable cost. If the PS5 costs close to $1,000, people are going to gravitate towards a PC. If it's in the low hundreds, they'll think that it's an inferior product. $500 is the perfect price point for this next-gen system, so that's about what the PlayStation 5 is sure to cost. What do you think of these PlayStation 5 rumors? Have you heard any juicy gossip that we need to hear about? Please let us know in the comment section down below. While you're there, also be sure to subscribe to The Gamer for all of your inside looks at the future of the gaming industry. Thanks for watching.